Okay, escalate to de-escalate. We're going to use the nuclear simulator and basically fire up this thing and see what happens. Here we go. Loading, loading, loading. Here we are, and we're off to the races. We'll speed it up. Full fine, just so there it is. Starts in here in the Ukraine, and it's going to spread from there all over the place. The Russians are firing back into Europe. The Americans are firing everybody flings. Meanwhile, over in North America, well, England's a mess. North America is a pretty all mess too. There you go. Even got looked at hit Winterpeg, which is where NATO's Northern Command headquarters, NORAD's Northern Command headquarters is, and off we go. And we'll just fire at the fallout dosages, physical effects. Here we go. And then there's the Russian planes. They just fired a bunch of cruise missiles heading back to base. Oh, there goes where I live, Vancouver. Yes, there it is. It's gone. Yeah, well, of course it would because it's the second largest port on there, Vancouver again. Victoria would have gone because Esquimalt, the suburb, is where the Canadian Navy is. Vancouver would have gone because it's the second largest port in the Pacific coast. So again, escalate, de-escalate. So what does that mean? Well, essentially, side A fires a nuke, and then side B figures they have to make sure side A knows they're serious about fighting a nuclear war, so you better not fire anymore. So we're going to fire 3 just to show you that we're serious. We're not going to be intimidated. Of course, then so side B fires its 3. Side A says, well, we can't just let them get away with firing 2 more, blowing up 2 more of our targets than we've blown up theirs. So we're going to fire 5 back. And, again, it's an oxymoron because nobody's going to stop because it's political suicide. Any president of side A or premier of side B or whatever is going to lose their job if they do not retaliate with greater power than what they've just been inflicted upon them. So escalate, de-escalate will mean all-out thermonuclear war. Okay, and there it is. So here we're going to go. We're going to do the calculations here. Calculate. And see where our casualties was from this little soiree. So we're actually right now we're basically been in this thing is like been day 2, started on on the 11th of January. So we'll just see where it goes. There we go. And so it's insane because Kuhn, who wrote on thermonuclear war and a few other books on the subjects back in the day, talked about the escalation ladder. And basically, once you start up that ladder, ego and political survival, they don't care about the survival of the rest of us, just their own miserable political hides. And as long as they're safe in their bunkers or rotating above the country in their Air Force One or whatever the Russian equivalent thereof is, until everything dust settles and they find someplace safe to land, like Iceland or New Zealand or whatever. But they don't care what happens to the rest of us. They just care about showing being strong. Easy enough if you're not the ones your life's on the butt. And I chain each one of these guys to the outside of the Pentagon in the open, and outside of the Kremlin in the open, and let them make those decisions then. See what kind of decisions they will make. So here we are. I mean, this is a great little simulation that was based on a lot of think tank information, good modeling, and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good tool to use to get a feel of what a nuclear war would be. If I want, Ivan, the author of it, I'll talk to him, and one of these days I'm going to interview him when I have enough of subscribers and followers to make it worth his while. So hopefully, if you want to hear what he has to say, the guy who created this, a university professor who did that, based on a lot of information, good open source information, unclassified information, some of the stuff, maybe a little, interesting stuff that's come out from various places. So we're still going along here, trying to calculate this thing here. So I'll just sort of pause this for a second and then wait until it's over. Well, we're at last calculations. So let's see what's happening in the rest of the world. Okay, let's see what's happening there. You're starting to see the fallout tracks now. We're good. We're calculating those things there. You can see where it is. God help you if you're in the missile fields here in the American Midwest and another pile of missile fields over here. You're totally hosed. Beyond me, why America has all this desert down in here towards the south, yet they put all their missile tubes, silos, up here in their prime agricultural land. I mean, what are they thinking of? There's a batch of them over here, a batch of them over here, and a batch of them down there, and yeah, they're going to destroy the crops. And people are going to starve. This happening in my hometown. There it is. It's okay. Here we got the calculations, the results. So, what do we got? Overall, Russia lost 54 million people, America 34, United Kingdom 28, which is a good chunk of the population when you think of it. Germany 28, also a good chunk. We're going to have a nuclear fall with global cooling of 3.5 degrees lower than what we have now. So that's going to cause like agricultural issues, but not as much as having all the wheat fields of America nuked, which is like really serious in that respect. You can see all the red is really heavy fallout, orange, a little lighter, well, yellow the lightest still, but still pretty grim. You look at the eastern seaboard, it's pretty bad. Even in Canada, you can see like from where Ottawa, Montreal, North Bay, Ontario, where NORAD command, tactical command headquarters are. These little streaks in northern British Columbia and Alberta is where we have air bases, which are full of interceptors that they would want to block. And there, that one over here by Victoria is from the Canada Pacific Fleet Naval Base, which has all our anti-submarine forces. And of course, Vancouver, the port. And you can see where it streaks up here. I know. If I have enough warning, I want to end up in northern British Columbia for now. Anyway, so there it is. So let's see other countries. Well, let's see what we can look at there. Okay, the refineries, we lost 2/3 of our refinery capability, just over half of our power plants, a third of the airports. Not so many hospitals. Still 200 hospitals in the key areas. I mean, if case in point, I mean, every hospital you lose makes it harder to treat the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of injured. Harbors, we lost a bunch. Oil storage. We've got just much soot in the stratosphere, a lot of it in there. Our refining capacity has gone down the tubes. Harbors, pretty bad, pretty bad. Some key harbors, there it is. And fatalities, okay. Now, I said we've, okay, there we go. Yeah, where I come from, Canada, we lost over 3 million people, mostly in Vancouver and, of course, the other big cities in the back east. China wasn't involved in the war, but still lost 27,000 people to fallout. Okay, we go down here. France, it lost pretty bad. Lost about a quarter of its population, dead. Greenland is a good place to hunker down, and Greece didn't do too well. Germany lost about almost a third of its population. Iceland's pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, well, Latvians lost almost about a third of their population. Should lose more because they're a bunch of warmongering people over there. They want nuclear war so bad. Let them enjoy it. And Mongolians lost 1,300 people, probably from radioactive fallout. New Zealand is clean, obviously. Let's see. United Kingdom. I want to look at England again. There it is. And United Kingdom and the United States. They actually have Puerto Rico as a separate. Russia lost 54 million, about a third of their population. Puerto Rico lost 95,000 people. I don't know why anybody would want to nuke them. And let's see who else we got here. But yeah, this whole escalate to de-escalate is bogus. So the United Kingdom, England lost almost half its population, over 40%. Anyways, that doesn't surprise me, as we'll see. And the United States lost just over 10%. I think they got away a little lighter than I would. I think it would probably be heavier than that. So there it is. But let's look at that. Like in the fallout patterns we've been looking at, this my hometown is pretty bad here. Vancouver just got nailed. Um, God help you if you live in this neck of the woods. I know the movie in '83, the day after, really I think really minimized just how bad it would be over here because this is where it's set. So they got that literally crap nuked out of them. Cheyenne, obviously, where the big NORAD headquarters is. Down here, yeah, you're toast down here. There's not going to be too many people left alive in this place there for sure, or in Bismarck. So let's go along, looking a little further. New York's probably a mess too. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Woo! Washington D.C. obviously would have been hit. Atlantic City. New York, yeah, it got nailed over here. You can see that. England's going to look like a complete mess. I can guarantee you that. They always, it's just going to get hosed pretty bad. There it is. Look at England. I mean, really, unless you're in Scotland, you're a mess if you're down in here in Europe. Of course, I mean, dude, good Lord, huh. There it is. And Russia, of course, is a complete mess down here. The Crimea just got glazed, turned into a parking lot. Of course, we all know what Hawaii is going to look like when we get there. This war is just between Russia and the United States, so Japan and China were not involved. There's Hawaii. There it is. There's, you could. I mean, when you think of Oahu, if you've ever been there, there's nothing a bunch of targets. Military bases separated by small civilian strips. So there that is. So it's going to be a complete mess. So there it is, just looking at that, this scenario using a nuclear war simulator. I tend to use that and play around with various scenarios. And I also use Nuke Map to look at individual towns being hit, which I'm going to do something on a little later on that. So there we are. Stay tuned for my next video.